Hello, this is Patrick from Ross Video, and I'd like to give you an overview of controlling media assets in Trackless Studio. This can be really useful for setting up the video, images, and live sources into your virtual monitors on your virtual set. First, we're going to launch the Trackless Studio Settings application. Click on the icon for Trackless Studio Settings on the desktop. When the Settings menu appears, select the Other tab to review settings for prefixes for other important objects. The default prefix for objects to be used as display materials for the monitor will always have the same prefix. That prefix of mat_display is shown here. This prefix will be shown on materials in the virtual set that are surfaces for on-set virtual monitors. Let's exit the Trackless Studio Settings interface and go into our XPression project. We'll find in the scenes in our XPression project, we're going to look for a virtual monitor on a set like this one. For this virtual display, we're going to click on it, we're going to find the material, and we're going to notice that the material that's selected for it is mat_display_wall monitor. As you see, using that prefix has been defined with that default of mat_display. So this material is going to be available for Trackless Studio for setting up a media element. Let's minimize XPression and return to Trackless Studio. I'm going to launch the Trackless Studio application from the icon on the desktop. When the Trackless Studio interface opens, we're going to go to the Settings area and click on Media. This will bring up two submenu options, Set up Media for Events and Media Hot Swap. First, let's take a look at how Set up Media for Events works. We're going to set up our first media event item, so locate the New button on the bottom of the interface and click on it. This will create a new entry for the Setup Media for Events. There are fields in the event for name, input, and material. This is the material we'll be affecting. Here you'll see the mat_display_wall monitor. This is the texture the Trackless Studio will automatically be detecting and replacing. If there's more than one material that can be used, it will be detected here and shown in the list. Next, let's choose a material that we want to replace it with. If I click on a line item, I'll see a thumbnail. Now, I'm going to drag the name of that file into the input field of the media element. Now we have media element number 1. We can rename it if we want to by clicking in the name field and entering letters. We can use letters A through Z, 1 through 9, and certain symbol characters, but no spaces are allowed. Let's name it media-video and press enter to confirm the change. This event will now be substituted in place of mat_display_wall monitor later on. Let's create a new item. We're going to find a still image this time, and we're going to drag its name into the input field. Now we're going to go over to the file name, and we're going to change it from media2 to media-image. Again, this will be substituted in that wall monitor surface. Now let's create a third item. Click on the New button again, make sure we select the line item, and now we're going to go look for a live source. Those are the thumbnails under the list of files. So I'm going to take my live source, which I can see here, and drag it up to the input field. I'm going to let go of it there, and I'm going to rename this one media-live source. And that will also be put in that monitor. We now have 3 media for events. The first one is going to be a video, the second one is an image, and the third one is a live source. Now, let's click on the Events and Sequences button in the Settings tab to create some events for controlling the media that we've just added. I'm going to create a new event by clicking on the New Event button. If I had existing events, I could select them from the list. Let's select the line item for event number 1, and let's go down to the bottom for event items. We're going to select Media tab, and then we're going to the bottom and clicking Add Media. Here's where we attach the media elements we've just created, and you can see we have a pull-down list of the available media images we've set. I'm going to choose the first one, which is media-video. So you'll see that now is added up into the top. I'm going to click a new event, and I'm going to create that, adding media. I'm going to choose media-image, and I'm going to create another new event, and I'm going to add media again, clicking Add Media, and I'm going to choose media-live source. So now I have 3 events. To test our events, we can click on the trigger button that's on the end of the list item. We've got a virtual display here. We click trigger. You're going to see that we're triggering event number 1, which is putting the video in the virtual monitor on our virtual set. If I click number 2, the still image will appear. If I click trigger for event number 3, the live input source will appear. So now we've tested all these on our virtual monitor. Remember back in the media settings there was a second submenu tab. Let's take a look at that other submenu tab. Under settings, click on media. Under media you'll find the second tab is called media hot swap. Let's click on it. Media hot swap is used to replace items on a virtual monitor on the fly without scheduling events. We can set this up as pretty much a press and play interface. What you'll notice, the screen is divided into 3 areas. On the left side there's a list of possible materials that can be updating using the media element function in Trackless Studio. In the center is a field of thumbnail areas where you can have thumbnails shown of all types of preset media which can be directly triggered from the user interface. On the right side is a preview window and a file browser area to get to assets. The preview window is where you can choose a thumbnail and see what you're about to affect before you click the assign button. The file browser interface lets you look at the local file system to select media and events that you would like to put into the thumbnail grid. Down below will be the live sources so that you can choose those as well. Let's get started. Let's select some files and add them into the HotSwap thumbnail library. In the file browser, search for a desired asset and drag it into the thumbnail containers. I'm taking a video. Now I'm going to go back and find a still image, and I can put these anywhere in here. They don't have to go one next to the other. I can drag them randomly. So I'm going to put a still below a video. I'm going to take another still and put it next to the first still, and a third still after that next to those. To hot swap any of these media elements to replace a material on the virtual monitor, we need to select the original material from a list of materials with the prefix matte display. This column is shown on the left side. Once we've selected that, the field down below will show us all the different scenes and objects where that material is being used on your virtual set. Click on the thumbnail for the preset media. Look at the preset window. Again, we're going to show you the insert here so you see it. When you click on the assign button, that media will automatically hot swap with the media on your virtual set. Let's choose one of the still images we set into the media hot swap thumbnails. Click on the desired thumbnail. Look at the preview image. If you like it, click assign. That sets the image to hot swap into the virtual monitor. Let's choose another and assign. Let's choose a third one and assign. It's very easy and very straightforward. Just select the desired media element from the hot swap thumbnails and then click the assign button to immediately change the material on the virtual set monitor. It's also possible to assign media directly from the file browser. Just select a file from the list and it will appear in the preview window. Click assign to send the file to the virtual monitor. Let's select another file and let's click assign again to send it to the virtual monitor on the set. So we don't have to preview and hot swap them. This immediately shows any of the assets in the video monitor selected. We can also choose a live source just by simply double clicking on it. When we double click on the asset, it sends it directly to the virtual monitor on the set. There's the basic overview of media workflow in Trackless Studio.